Hello dear fans. Interesting logic questions. The ability for logical rational thinking is different for each person, but this does not mean that they cannot be developed and honed even in adulthood. One of the best ways to pump your brain and teach it to work more successfully are logical problems and puzzles. It is most effective to solve such tasks in the company of friends. It will be fun and will help you learn to see non-standard solutions and details out of context. When it comes to the development of logical thinking, most people think of the simplest tasks that kids do when sorting colorful figures. However, without the ability to think logically, it is impossible to imagine the life of any adult. And this applies not only to global issues of humanity, but also to simple everyday tasks. To quickly find the right solution to a problem, see a non-trivial move, or simply make a list of necessary purchases. People who, since childhood, love to solve funny logical problems or look for answers to tricky questions, are better oriented in the fast course of life and, as a rule, are more successful in their careers and personal life. But it is never too late to start developing logic, and it is best to do it constantly, gradually complicating the tasks. Reading detective stories. Surprisingly, thoughtful reading of detective novels familiar from childhood will help even a not very logical person learn to see cause and effect relationships and develop induction and deduction. In the process of solving an inexplicable riddle that the author poses to readers, a person gradually finds interesting complex answers to an intricate riddle. Such leisure will also help in real life to quickly calculate in the smallest details the possible development of the situation and find the most successful way out of it. By the way, the ability to pay attention to the little things in the behavior and manners of the interlocutor will help not to become a victim of deception and to be one step ahead of competitors. Crosswords, chess, and puzzles. Most talented chess players calculate the possible actions of the opponent several moves ahead. This is the only way to see the situation on the board and not give in to your opponent. Everything is like in life. It is sensible to assess the available resources, take into account many variables and find the right solution. No wonder this game is so fond of successful politicians and businessmen. Experienced psychologists advise you to solve at least one page of a crossword puzzle, scanword, Sudoku, or Japanese, whichever you prefer, per day. It helps to think more clearly, disciplines the mind, and develops erudition. And there it is already not far from the development of logic. However, solving logic problems and puzzles is considered the most useful. It is with their help that a person learns to find the essence of the issue among less useful information. You should not immediately aim at the most difficult ones. It is better to start from scratch and gradually improve. Dessert for the mind. The beauty of logic problems is that you don't need to draw diagrams and graphs, know math functions, or remember a high school program to solve them. To get an answer, you need to use your thinking ability and learn to look for unusual approaches to the easiest questions. It is interesting to solve such tasks with friends, at a party, or in the form of a friendly competition. Let's try to practice and solve some interesting logic problems. Warning, you need to be careful, many answers literally lie on the surface. In one village, there are two houses nearby, a rich mansion and a small house of a poor man. They lit up at the same time. Which building will the police put out first? Answer: the police will not participate in this, all fires are extinguished by firefighters. Is it possible to place an ordinary colored pencil in a completely empty room so that it cannot be stepped over or jumped over? Of course. Just put your pencil near any of the walls. There is a pile of 100 paper clips on the desk in the office. It takes exactly 10 seconds to count down to 10. How many seconds can you quickly count 80 staples? For 20, the remaining pile will have just 80 pieces. The kid enters the room and sees, 2 kittens are lying on the bed, a dog is sitting against the wall, 3 chickens and 1 gosling are running in the center of the room. How many legs are there in the room? 2, with the baby. Animals and birds have legs, not legs. Paradoxical logic. Logic questions and tasks train the inquisitiveness of the mind very well, helping a person learn to see the obvious and not be afraid to choose the correct, but at the same time delusional answer. Reflecting regularly on strange, confusing questions helps us realize that in our lives, right does not always mean obvious. It will be fun to solve such logic puzzles in the family circle, together with the children. Surprisingly, babies often easily find unusual answers, their thinking has not yet become static, and many concepts have not become commonplace. It will be fun to compete who will find the answer faster, adults or children. And if there are several logical answers, then all the players really know how to think outside the box. On the student's desk is a box of pencils, pens, compasses, a ruler and a diary. He was tasked with drawing a circle on a piece of paper. Where should a child start? Ask for a piece of paper that is not on the table. Humanity has come up with many types of weapons. In the name of one of them, you can read the number and date at the same time. What is it about? Gun. Need to determine how many years are in 1 year? Just one summer season. Guests unexpectedly came to the girl, and in her refrigerator she only has a bottle of mineral water without gas, a package of fruit juice and homemade compote. What is the first thing a confused girl will discover? Of course, the refrigerator door. One man slept very badly at night, could not fall asleep in any way. And then one night he was tossing and turning, as always, then he thought, took the phone and called someone. He did not even begin to talk, and after the call he went back to bed and immediately fell asleep. Who the man called and why he was able to fall asleep only after the call? Answer: he dialed the number of a neighbor who was snoring a lot, woke him up with a call, and after that he was able to rest. There is a treasure chest deep in the seabed. It is all filled, which is not there. And really, what is not in the chest? There is absolutely no emptiness in the chest filled with objects and water. The boy has 5 apples. If he decides to hide 2 of them, how many apples will the boy have left? Still 5. He did not give them to anyone. General knowledge tasks. Sometimes, in order to make the brain work and immediately answer a question, it is enough to remember in time about the simple things that you have to face almost every day. By the way, the most memorable commercials and ingenious marketing moves are thought up on approximately the same principle. Let's try to see the answers to tricky questions and seemingly illogical tasks. In an ordinary city, traffic is regulated by a traffic light at an ordinary intersection. A big Kamaz, a guy on a motorcycle and a horse-drawn carriage stopped at a red light. The light turned green and the truck roared off. The horse got scared by the loud sound and bit the motorcyclist's ear. A policeman who was nearby issued a fine to one of the participants in the incident. Why? The fault was the motorcyclist, who had to wear a helmet while driving. These fabulous events took place in a cold winter. Ivanushka lost his sister Alyanushka and went to look for her. He wandered through the forests and fields for a long time and came to the bank of a large river. How can he cross the river without getting his shoes wet and drowning? It was winter, the river was frozen, and on the ice it is easy to cross to the other side and find a sister. It is necessary to calculate how much soil will be contained in a hole with a diameter of 2 meters, if you dig it 3 meters deep? Not at all, there is no earth in the pits. One morning, the boss of a large company decided to go to a meeting in another city. But a night watchman approached him and warned him that he had dreamed of a terrible car accident in which his boss was injured, and he took and fired the watchman. Why? For sleeping at work at night. Which mountain was the highest on our planet until people learned about Everest? Whether people knew about it or not, Everest is still the highest mountain. Thanks for watching.